All right, three big political stories, starting with a report from the New York Times saying advisors to President Trump have spoken about giving Mayor Eric Adams a job in the administration. That's if he gets out of the race for mayor in New York. Political analyst Jim McQueeny is joining us now to weigh in on this. Jim, thanks for joining us this morning on Connecting America. So, Mayor Adams, do you think he bows out and takes a gig in the administration, or does he stay in the race for mayor?
Well, I think everybody's going to stay in the race for mayor at this point. It's only months out. And it was interesting to see that CBS had a poll just the other day that said if everybody got out, that Cuomo would be 10 points ahead of Mamdani. But, everybody getting out or anybody getting out, it's a little bit like saying, if I didn't have the horns on my head, I wouldn't be called the devil. It's a case of where you're just not going to get out. And right now, even if they did, there's current in New York City and everywhere around the country for change. And it's no accident that polling shows people are dissatisfied. And if Cuomo, for instance, Cuomo, I mean, Adams is way down in the polls, not going to happen. But if Cuomo is looking to get appeal to leap over Mondani, he's the status quo choice. So it runs against the way people's sentiment feel right now. And even if you feel a little alarmed about Mondani, it's
Yeah.
he's on the side of change.
Well, looking at the latest, and I like to look at the average of all polls, Jim, and Real Clear Politics does that well. They have Mamdani up 15 points. This is not a close race. Even if Adams gets out of the race, they have Cuomo desperately trailing Mamdani by at least 5 or 6 points. So to your point, it would take both Sliwa and Adams to get out of the race, and that is not going to happen. But my question is, I had presumed that Republicans, including Donald Trump, want Mamdani to be mayor because then they have a foil to run against in 2026. What do you think about that theory?
Dave, spot on. It's the kind of thing where I think, in a cruel way, I guess, that they'll do everything to keep Mondani in because after he's in, they feel he'll turn it into a socialist republic, and Trump won't be sending the National Guard in; he'll be sending the 101st Airborne in to solve that problem here. So for him, for Trump, and for Trump and Republicans, this plays well to have Mondani in there.
Jim,
Go ahead, Kate.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Allison.
So, Jim, does it behoove Donald Trump or the Trump administration to have Eric Adams in their administration? What would be the motivation? Why would they offer that fig leaf?
Well, there's no motivation for it. In fact, the public reception to this would be very poor. There's already the suspicion that Trump, did a solid for Adams here, by on the immigration thing in the city, and I just don't see this thing even happening.
Hey, Jim, can we talk about Cory Booker? He got engaged. What do you think about that? And do you think this has anything to do with possibly setting up for a run for president again in 28?
Yeah, absolutely. This was an engagement to a woman he had known for a while, and I've known Cory since he was in Yale Law School. Sorry, and this is almost a pre-announcement that he's running for president. But to do that, he still has to get past his re-election in New Jersey as a senator. That's next year. But it's real interesting here. He's a very good politician. He really is, right? And his last run for president in 2020 in the primaries, right? It sort of fizzled out, and it was a surprise that it fizzled out. He couldn't find a lane against Biden and against all the rest that were running, and Sanders and stuff. And he also, surprisingly, for a big money raiser, he couldn't get the money. He was running out of gas with money, and then had to get out before the Iowa thing. So this time, I think this very clever politician, Cory Booker, an attractive politician, is saying he's making the run for president, and he's going to be much more organized than he was last time. He's not going to run out of money. And in fact, that 25-hour filibuster he did on the Senate floor earlier this year, it raised $10 million. And 75% of that were contributions under $25. He's going to show that this is basically a spread where he has great appeal, and he's getting a start this time on this thing. And I think the engagement is like an engagement into running and a pre-announcement to running for president, period.
Jim McQueeny, thank you very much. We appreciate your insight this morning.